Hi, it's Brian Resney, and I'm going to talk a little bit about fee-only fiduciary money managers versus fee-based or commission-based so-called advisors. I often am asked, Brian, what is the big difference between a fee-only fiduciary money manager like Resney Wealth Management versus, let's say, a fee-based advisor that's working with one of these Wall Street firms or a bank or an insurance company, or even somebody just selling straight commission products like these annuity people that work under suitability. The easiest way to explain it would be I talk about firemen in the fire department and your house is on fire. I'll give you that analogy. So let's say your house does start on fire. Who do you call? You call the fire department. And of course, when the fire department shows up, they show up in a shiny red truck. The firemen have their fireman suits and hats and everything on. You clearly understand it's a fireman, and the fire department is there then to put out the fire. So a firm like Resney Wealth Management that is a fee-only fiduciary firm, we're like the fire department. We're always firemen. We're always going to put out the actual fire. That is our job. When we show up, you know you have the fire department. The problem that many of you investors face is when you work with a Wall Street firm or bank, most of these firms work under suitability or quasi, what's called fee-based, sometimes fiduciary and sometimes not. What that means is your house is now on fire. You call the fire department, and the fire department comes, and they basically have the look of a fire department. They pull out the hoses, and there's a couple different people around the back of the truck. Well, one of them pulls out a fire hose and starts to put water on your actual house and start to douse the flames. That person under a fee basis is working under fiduciary. But all of a sudden, he decides he wants to now sell you commission-based products through that brokerage firm, and he pulls out a different hose now that is filled with gasoline. He's an arsonist now. So on one side, if they're fee-based, they can work kind of like a fireman or fiduciary, but they can also work under suitability, meaning they can actually throw gas on your house and basically set the blaze going. So sometimes they work in your best interest under fiduciary. Sometimes they don't. They work under suitability. That's a problem. If you're looking at a firm that sells, let's say, general commission-based products, whether it's annuities, whether it's non-traded REITs or mutual funds, anything based on commission, now what happens is the fire department shows up. They kind of look like a fire department, but what comes out the hose is always gasoline, and it goes on your house and it blazes it even higher and burns your house quicker. That's suitability. The bottom line is this: the only kind of firm that you should ever entrust your money to is a fee-only fiduciary firm. Firms that are fee-based and commission, which are all the Wall Street firms, banks, all these firms that have these rosy commercials, these firms work under suitability or they're fee-based. So sometimes they have to legally work in your best interest and put water on your house to put out the fire, but half the time, or 80% of the time, they might be actually putting gasoline on the fire, and they're arsonists. So the bottom line is, who do you want working on your money? Somebody who always works in your legal best interest as a fee-only fiduciary, or somebody that part-time works in your best interest, and other times they can burn the house down. Or you could work with somebody always working under suitability, that's always putting gas on your house. They kind of look like a fireman, but the hose is filled with gas, and your house burns, all your personal property is gone, and you're devastated. So imagine your portfolio now working with a Wall Street firm, a bank, an insurance company, or somebody who sells these annuity type products. Do you want an arsonist working on your portfolio and burning your retirement to the ground? Probably not. If you want to know more about fee-only fiduciary money management, call Resney Wealth Management or go to our website, resneywealth.com, download for free Your Biggest Investment Risk, Suitability versus Fiduciary. Read it. Use that questionnaire. Check out the firm you entrust your money at, FINRA or the SEC. I find very little investors ever do. That's a major problem for your portfolio. Never put gas on your portfolio and burn it up. And if you're working with a bank, an insurance company, or any Wall Street firm, none of these firms are fee-only fiduciary firms. Sometimes they work in your best interest, but the majority of the time, they're arsonists putting gas on the fire. Protect your retirement in your portfolio, call Resdy Wealth Management for a second opinion. Never settle for conflicts or bad advice.